Hey, what's going on, guys? Mark back on Mark's Aquatics. I just thought I'd show you me feeding my little koi first thing in the morning. Here you go, guys, have some food. They love this stuff, they really do. Beautiful colours. I thought I'd show you these guys before we popped in to see the little marine tank, that little fluval evo. You see how that's been coming on. We've had lots and lots of growth in there, and everything is doing extremely well, but I think some of that pulsing zinnia's got a little bit out of hand, so we're going to have to take some of that out today, I think, and thin it out a bit before it starts to cover up and suffocate some of the other corals that we've got in there. Look at those little guys go. Happy little koi fish. Well, not so little anymore. Right, let's go and see the evo. Okay, we couldn't come past you without having a quick hello. Hello, you two. Daddy Goby's in the back somewhere. Hello. You waving with your little fins? Looks like you're waving. Right, let's go and see the evo. Enough attention. Right, there you go, guys. There is the evo. It's doing pretty well. Lots and lots of growth. As you can see, that pulsing zinnia now has jumped from the rock. It's jumped up the back, all the way across there, onto the glass, stopping my green star polyps from going that way. I want it to cover the back, but it's actually covered the glass, and it will actually jump across onto that green star polyp colony as well. So but this is looking absolutely stunning. This is, it's covered all the power heads like you saw in the last video. Still growing. I'm gonna have to trim it off the end. It's actually growing off the end of the holes now, and it's actually deflecting the flow of the flow coming out of the pipe, so it's changed the flow pattern in the tank. But this is a rock here which I put in after I put these two guys in. I thought they might start to breed because there's not a lot of open ground where they can breed. So they've cleared out this little patch of gravel down here and along here. I thought they might lay on the glass, but they haven't, and they've gone in amongst that pulsing zinnia right in there. They've gone in there for some reason, so maybe they've got eggs in there. I don't think they have, but that stone there has got to be moved because it's slowly creeping down now, and it's going all over the zoas, so we want to be seeing those. Mr. Fan's growing beautifully down there. He's really put on some size since you last saw him. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the top off this tank, and I'm going to get my arm in there, and I'm going to slowly and carefully remove that stone there with that pulsing zinnia on, and I can take that now and put it into the coral room and sell that little colony off at some point. Now it's jumped across there. And I think what I might do as well is take that and very, very carefully with a scraper just take that off the glass, because it's like they stick like an anemone. They stick very, very lightly onto the glass, and you can peel them off very easily if you're careful. And so we'll get that off as well, because we've got that green plating Montipora there at the side, so that might need taking off and moving around. It might have actually grown onto that, which is going to kill it over time. I say it's beautiful pulsing zinnia, but it can be very evasive, and it can take over your tank quite easily if it's left unchecked. That's why I always say to you, make sure you keep it on an actual rock, where I had it on that central rock there, and it couldn't actually jump off anywhere. But as you can see, there's lots of little splinter groups which have come off here as well. Bits do break off over time and land in various places and start off new colonies, so you've got to keep your eye on it and remove little bits as you go. So I'm going to get the lid off this tank now, and I'm going to slowly remove that stone there. Right, let's take this stone out now. I'm probably going to get bitten now. There's quite a few on there, look at that. Now that rock was completely clean when I put there. See that little group, that little piece there just goes shooting off. Another one just fell off there. This is how it starts to spread throughout your tank. It just puts off little pieces, they snap off, stick to other places, and then they carry on. But I'm going to take that piece out with a little bit of blue stuff growing on there, the blue zinnia as well. Look at that, that's quite a pretty little piece. But as you can see, the zoas down there really have reached right up for the light there and stretched up because they've been starved of light from this stuff. So we'll remove this piece and put it straight into my little jug and take it straight back into my coral room and put it in another tank. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I forgot to press play again. I've moved a couple of more rocks out of the corner here now, which has exposed that nice sandflower anemone. I've just put some zoas back in the corner there, and a little bit of green star polyps that was attached to that as well. Now we've got all these little groups here of the pulsing xenia, which I've got to remove as well, and then we're going to start to scrape some off the back of the glass as well, because in time, like I said, that will creep and it will cover this stuff, believe it or not. Like I said, it's very evasive, and it will, or invasive, and it will cover up everything. So we've got to really get this stuff out and thin it out. I'm going to bring that rock forward very slightly away from the glass again, and so it can't hop across, so we can get a little bit more control over what's going on within our little world. Try not to upset these two little clownfish too much, so I'm doing everything very carefully, because clownfish get stressed out very quick, and takes them a while to get used to what their surroundings are again. But like I say, I'm going slow, so hopefully they'll be okay. Right, let's get some of this stuff out. Now what I tend to use, guys, is one of these little scrapers here. Okay, they come in little paper wrapped as well, and I find they're very clean, but give them a little rinse first just to make sure you get any oils or anything they put on the blades to stop them going rusty off first. And I only use them once, and that's it. But I'll just run that across here now, as you'll see. I think that bit's loose anyway. Yeah, he's loose. But with this, if you just run it down the side very carefully, and then just peel that away and come in from underneath, there you go, you'll just lift those guys off. And all you got to do is put an elastic band around those onto a rock very loosely, or a little bit of cotton if you want to put and move it somewhere else. And ow, thank you very much. And then you'll get another colony growing. If you want to give somebody some, you can do that. That's actually gone onto some of those green star polyps there, so I'm going to actually, oh sorry, some zoas, so I'm going to remove those as well. Take that little clump out there. This little clump of GSP can go as well, because we don't want that on the bottom. There you go, you just push that in and raise that up slightly, and away it comes, nice and easy. So we'll make a nice little pile there in the corner. Same with that, just run it straight under the gravel, and they will all come off nice and easy. Obviously minding your silicone when you do this, because you can quite easily cut your silicone, and you don't want to do that. Now there's a little piece of rock there with loads of it on, so I think what we'll do is we'll leave that on there with that little button pally on there as well. Scrape him off the bottom, and these are all the little groups that I've missed when they've gone whizzing off. This is growing absolutely wonderfully. This Gagonian really is doing a fantastic job. It really is putting off lots of new branches, and this is a photosynthetic one, so this just feeds off of the light. Obviously we put coral reefroids and things in there as well, and that feeds that nicely. So I think what I'll do now is I'll get this little group out before it goes walkabouts again, and then we can attack the back. Right, okay guys, I'm going to move this Monty out now. Now this Monty's absolutely been smothered by these guys. Look at that. Absolutely everywhere. Now that's a big old plate, as you can see. Lots of little keel worms underneath there. But all those guys are going to have to be taken off. Otherwise it's going to smother it, and smother it of light. There's one just dropping off there. I don't know how many will come off if I shake it. I'll try that first. We're pretty well stuck on there, so I'll put that in my other little tub. I've got another little pot of water which I've moved out from there, so I can put those in. And that will stay out the water for quite some time. That's not too bad to keep out the water. But while we've got that out now, you can see at the back we've got all that pulsing xenia. I'm sorry it's a bit cloudy now, but you can see all that pulsing xenia at the back there. I'm going to scrape all that off now, and we've moved that rock forward so we can get all that off of there. Just scrape it away carefully, and you'll see them all just fall away. And then we can collect them all up later on. How many more have we got on there? Let's have a look. Concentrating a bit there, guys, so sorry if I'm a little bit quiet. I think that's the rest of them. I know this looks a little bit destructive, but we need to get that water flow. It's imperative for the water flow to be correct in here, or that's when it can all go wrong for you, and you get build up of detritus and things in there. So I think now we've got most of those free. That Gorgonian's not too happy now because I've moved him, but I can always prop him up again. That'll be no trouble at all. And we can put everything back now where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to just grab all these little guys out. I think I missed one there, didn't I? There you are. There he goes. So I can get my tongs out now and slowly pick all these guys up and move them away. So I'll get back to you when that's done. Right, okay guys, what I'm going to do now is I've taken a lot of this stuff out. I'm in the coral room now, and I've just gone through some of my other tanks, and I've picked out some beautiful macroalgae here, some lovely seaweeds, different types for that gorgeous red there, and some of the other different types which have grown off some of the corals that I've had for some time now. So we're going to let some of these macroalgae grow in there, because that will help with nutrient levels and things as well. Got a nice little toadstool there as well, some other pallies, different things with, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's little fan algae growing on there, some of that caulerpa. Some lovely stuff in there, so we're going to fire some of that in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all in, and I'm going to show you, obviously it's going to have to clear as well, so it's going to be some time. So I'm going to have to let it clear, and then I'll get back to you when it's all nice and clear and clean, and you can see what it looks like before and after. Well guys, there you go, it's all in and looking pretty awesome. All really happy with that, with everything that I've put in there now. We've moved that Gorgonian now to the back, which is nicely in the flow, and we've also got a new little Monty there, little Montipora plating coral there. I took the big piece out and I thought I'd put a smaller piece back in there. It's got a nice shape to it. We've put it lower down in the tank so it can start to scroll up and look nice. Like I said earlier guys, pulsing xenia, beautiful coral to watch, very relaxing coral to watch, but it is super invasive and it will take over very, very quickly. Now I've also put a nice mushroom coral over there. Gonna have to move that one, there's not enough flow for him at the moment, but we've got another one down here as well of different species. What else have we put in there? We've got a lovely little blue sponge down here, some mushroom corals, and we've also put in different types of macroalgae as well. We've got some sea lettuce down there. Now when I've had corals in over time, they come straight off of the reefs, and what happens is they're seeded with all these different types of macroalgae, but normally the fish will take them off straight away and they'll just graze them down to nothing. But I've got no actual fish that will eat and graze things like that in my coral room, so these things start to reoccur and reappear over time. And I've had some beautiful stuff, some different little grape caulerpas. I'll give you some nice close-up shots of what I've got, different weeds in there in a minute. We've got some sea lettuce down there as well, little aptasia there as well, but these won't last in there long because we've got those aptasia eating nudibranchs in there which are lurking around, and they keep everything down brilliantly. Natural way of doing it, which is great. Different types of caulerpa at the back as well by the anemone over there. That's a little fan caulerpa. That looks all feather, I think it's called. What else we got? Oh, we got that lovely red Gracilaria. That's beautiful. That is just like a tubular shaped growing macroalgae. But the thing is with this one is it's very, very brittle, and it likes sort of medium to high flow. It's got a medium flow there, which is nice. Where it was a very high flow because it was actually attached to one of my power heads in the aquarium, which was putting out quite a rate of knots, and it was hanging on there quite sturdily. So how it's going to do in here is another story. What else have we got? We've also got, I think it's called halomedia, I think it's called, that stuff there, which is like it needs a lot of calcium. That it's like a caloricious, I think it's called, algae, and it needs high calcium and magnesium to thrive, that one, but so it's still a little bit green. So I've got quite low nutrients out in the coral room, so that might actually do a little bit better in here. There's another type of brown algae over here as well, which I'm not sure of the name of that one. If you know it, put it in the comment section below. I'd like to hear from you guys as well. There's some more of it over on this side as well. But apart from that, it's looking pretty awesome. What else have we got? We have some lovely mushrooms in there as well. Lovely green mushroom. Another little Recordia Yuma over this side. And one of those little toxic green cabbage corals, which I've put there. Some more mushrooms here. Some lovely little blue mushrooms at the back there, which are going to come on in time. Some pallies. We cleared out the power head there. I just chopped that. It was basically coming over like a little sock coming off the end where the GSP had grown off the end and changed that flow pattern in the tank. So what I did is I just ran that blade straight down the front, cut that off, and opened up both of those again. You can see one power head blowing that way and the other one's blowing this way. So we've got a nice circulation now in the tank as well, and it's blowing through all the holes and everywhere. We've got some little groups of GSP down there as well, which is what I want. I'd like to get this side covered up as well. I've got some more of that I can put in there as well. Some of the zoas I've moved out, and I've just put different things in there this time just to smarten it up a little bit. A little bit of a change with the macroalgae. These macroalgae are awesome for like copepods to breed in amongst, and even the clownfish will take little bits off of them. Being omnivorous, they will eat little bits of weed here and there, but not like a tang would. They would strip it off in no time at all. And but I think it looks beautiful, that mix of colours, because you don't get many like bright reds or different things like blues and sponges and things in an aquarium. So it's nice to have these little different additions in there. But I think it's looking pretty cool. So let's have a close-up view of some of these. I'm going to do a nice little close-up now, I think, put a little bit of music to it, and show you what it's all turned out like. Oh, well, there you go, guys. Hope you liked that little video. I think it looks pretty awesome now. A lot better than it did before. Opened everything up a lot more. We've got a lot more species in there. We can get that GSP now creep along the back there and make its home along the back. We've got the pulsing xenia under control at last. Different types of macroalgae, sponges and different things now that we can look after and feed properly. All I feed in here, guys, is regular reefroids and ocean nutrition, the powdered coral food, a little bit of that in there once a week, stirred into a little bit of aquarium water, and just put that into the power head and let that circulate around the tank to feed the little inmates. Make sure all the little tiny things are okay and fed, because in turn then they will grow up and breed and feed the clownfish and eat different algae and things as well. And obviously, guys, with algae as well, with these different types of macroalgae, they will outcompete other different types of nuisance algae which do appear in tanks as well. So it's quite nice to have a different little mix and match in there. On coral reefs, you do get the weed as well. It's not just always pristine coral reef everywhere. You do get some of these macroalgae and different types of weeds growing around on the rocks, which keeps all the herbivores, like all your tangs and different things, all fed, and they're constantly grazing on the reef to keep everything nice and clean and looking nice and tidy. Anyway, guys, I hope you like that little video. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell for up and coming videos, and you won't miss any more videos that way. I'll put a link into the Evo in the link down in. So if you want to buy one of these things, I'll put a link to the Amazon, which I'm affiliated with as well. So I get a couple of pounds if you do buy one. For if you buy it through that, which all helps me out, make more videos and buy more things to keep everyone entertained. So like I said, hope you like this little video. As always, you're all stars. Thanks for tuning in. Love you loads. Take care, and I'll see you on the next episode of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.